Page 2 now. Number 10, we want to multiply this out. You can do the shortcut since it's the same two things. One's minus, one's plus. The answer is going to be the square of the first thing minus the square of the second thing. If you do it the long way, say 6x times 6x is 36x squared. And then 6x times 5 is plus 30x. Then we go to minus 5 times 6x. There's the exact opposite, minus 30x. And there's the minus 25. And of course, these like terms cancel, leaving you with just 36x squared minus 25. Number 11, multiply these things together. And it's all multiplication, so we can rearrange this in any order we want. So I'm going to do the 4 times negative 2 first, and that makes a negative 8. Taking care of that. Then the y times the y. This is where we add the exponents. You get y to the 9th. And the z, there's another z. Got a z to the 3rd, z to the 1st, makes z to the 4th. And the only thing left, which is careful not to ignore, is this single w term, so it just gets copied, it does not change. Remember, we're adding the exponents here because if you wrote this out, you would be writing 7 little y's and then 2 more y's. Altogether, you'd have 7 plus 2, you'd have 9 y's. That's why we add the exponent there. All by itself, find the slope. Instead of get the whole equation, just get the slope. Y values are 11 and 5, x values are 7 and negative 4. So just be careful that you arrange the numbers correctly, and then be careful with the doggone arithmetic. So I'm going to do 11 take away 5 for the y's. Since I started with the 11, I have to start with the 7 now in the bottom. 7 take away, watch the signs, take away negative 4. So, what does this come out to? 11 take away 5 is 6. 7 take away negative 4 changes to add the opposite. So there's the slope, and that's all we were asked to do, just find the slope. Number 13, subtract. So, safe way to do this, subtraction. Just copy the first expression. You got 4x squared minus 7x cubed plus 11x minus 2. And then change this to add the opposite. So before I write any more right here where I'm fingering, I'm going to change this to add positive 5 positive x cubed negative 10x squared. So now I'm going to write plus 5 plus x cubed minus 10x squared. And now I can arrange these terms vertically if I want, making columns for each different power of x, or I can just go left to right and be careful and cross things out as I use them up. So here's a 4x squared. No, 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 no. Here's a match. So those match. Here's a 7x cubed. And there's another x cubed term. You'll see how I'm underlining to make it more obvious what goes together. There's 11x. And there is no other plain old x term, is there? And what's left? There's a 2 and a 5. Those are going to go together. Make up your own markings. You can make faces. You could make use color highlight pens, whatever you like. But I'm going to try to write my answer nice and in descending degree order. So I got the cube terms here, minus 7 and plus 1. That makes minus 6 x's to the 3rd power. So I'm going to cross those out now so they don't make me dizzy. 4x squared minus 10x squared, that's minus 6x squared. And then the plus 11x. And finally, the minus 2 plus 5. And There we go. That should be right. Simplify the fraction. Look at it as first the number problem, and then the A's, and then the C's, and don't lose the B. For the coefficients, I think what goes evenly into both those numbers? How about a 4? Divide that by 4. Divide that by 4. Okay. For the A's, where do we keep the A in the answer? On the top, because it's got a higher exponent. And what's the new exponent? 6 take away 4. For the C's, there's more C on the bottom. We'll keep the C on the bottom. New exponent, 9 take away 7. And the B just stays in the bottom and doesn't change. And I changed the order here. It doesn't matter. If you want to put it back, B squared, C squared, that's fine. And again, remember, just looking at this by itself, for the A's, for instance, why does it turn out the way it does? There's a to the 6th written without using an exponent. There's a to the 4th written without using an exponent. I get to cancel, 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 cancel. There's A's left over on the top because there were more of them to begin with, indicated by that larger exponent. And the canceling helps you see why it is we subtract. Number 15, multiply this out and then write your answer in scientific notation. And you can multiply these together first, and if they were uglier I would use a calculator, but they're not so bad. And that becomes a 30. And for this I wrote 11. That should be silly man. 10 to the 11th times 10 to the negative 17th. We add the exponents, we get 10 to the negative 6th. Oh, this is almost done, but we don't have scientific notation yet. Remember, this is really 30.0 times 10 to the negative 6th. 30 is the same as 30.0. For scientific notation, I want the point to be here with just a single digit to the left of it. So if I change that to 3.0, now instead of 6 places to the left, I move the point already 1 place to the left. Now the point only has to go 5 places to the left, so that would become that instead. And of course you can use the calculator, use the scientific notation mode of your calculator. You can check your answer. Multiplying this out, you can take this first term here times both of those, then this times those two, then this time. And if you want, first you could rearrange this. You could do this vertically. It doesn't matter. It just deal with being careful and neat and patient and accurate, all those good things. So I'm just going to take it the way it is. First I'm going to do this times this, and that makes 27 x to the 3rd power. Then I'm doing this times this, and that makes 45 x squared. I'm done with the 9x squared. Now I'm multiplying by minus 15x, and I get minus 45 x squared. I'm going to write that underneath the other x squared, minus 45 x squared, and then minus 15x times 5, I get minus 75x. And now it's the 25's turn. 25 times 3x, I get plus 75x. And 25 times 5, I get plus 125. So when it's all done, look, those are opposites, they cancel. Those are opposites, they cancel. My answer is 27x cubed plus 125. Let me write that over here. Okay. Number 17, multiply that means remove the parentheses, and it's not just a matter of squaring both terms. When we obey the exponent's true purpose, we write w minus 5 exactly 2 times, and now we multiply this out, and we get w squared minus 5w minus 5w plus 25, and these combine to make a minus 10w, meaning that our final answer is w squared minus 10w plus 25. And remember, of course, you could use that shortcut that we learned a few chapters ago. Square that, and the middle term is double that times that. Minus 5 times w is minus 5w. Double it, you get the middle term. But that's optional for now. And finally, number 18. It took me 6 hours to ride my bike 60 miles into the wind. What's into the wind? R minus w. Rate on in still air minus the wind speed. And then the return trip is going to be r plus w. So let's get this written out in equation form. There's my speed riding into the wind. Speed times time, 6 hours, equals distance, 60. 6 hours at r minus w miles per hour into the wind. It went 60 miles. The wind held steady, so I had it at my back for the return trip, which only took 4 hours. So 4 hours at the r plus w, where the wind is helping speed. And what's the distance? Where's the distance? Where's the distance? Well, read the words carefully and understand what they mean. Return trip. That means it's the same distance going back. All right. Now I just solve this. Divide both sides by 6. I get r minus w equals 10. Divide both sides by 4. I get r plus w equals 15. Then we're ready to add the columns. Excuse me. 1r and 1r, that's 2r. Those cancel, equals 25. Divide by 2. 12 and a half. So 12 and a half was the speed I was riding if there was no wind. If I plug this in to, say, the second equation, write 12.5 plus w equals 15, then take away 12.5 from both sides. 2.5, that's what was asked for, the wind speed, 2.5. I want to be really clear that I get graded correctly. I write the words wind speed, 2.5. If I want to be a show-off, I put the units miles per hour. That's the end of page 2.